Hey, there she is. Miwa just appeared from the astral, you guys.
Whoa! Oh, descended down.
Yeah. Dropped onto Earth.
No, I was watching you. I tried to get on. I don't know.
Next time. Next month is our month. Okay, this month we've got to get right to it because we have to keep it under an hour.
Yes.
So there's going to be no small talk, no joking, none of that. Focus.
All right. Well, did you announce our topic for today?
Our topic is life purpose, and I think it's a good one. And BPI introduced me to a new way of looking at life purpose. But I have to admit, after several years of study, I'm still not quite there.
But you're not quite there with your understanding, or not quite there with living your life purpose?
I guess a little bit of both. I have thoughts, but I'm going to let you start, and then I'm going to tune in with what I'm thinking.
I think you're hard on yourself. But.
Hashtag Capricorn, hashtag Gen X.
Right. Well, and that tends to be the overarching energy with regards to life purpose. It's just this heavy weighted, big energy of you need to accomplish something big and change the world and fix the planet and fix yourself and be perfect. And I hope that we debunk that today.
And know what it is.
Know what it is. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think I have to start from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Makes me want to sing a Sound of Music song. But if you will, I won't do that because we have to stay on purpose today.
Stay on task.
Yeah, so, I really, as I was processing this today, I was thinking, I think the best place to start is at the beginning, which is before a person's lifetime. So before they incarnate into the physical body that they're in right now, right? So that I want to talk about the soul's journey and what they go through and how a soul does come up with their life purpose and what that process is about. So if you will, if you subscribe to reincarnation and that you are an eternal soul who has stumbled upon planet Earth and has decided to have some incarnations here in the human body form here on planet Earth, then what happened before your present lifetime, you had a body, a physical body in a previous lifetime. And you went through that lifetime, you did your life, yada, yada. When that body died, on a soul level, you left your body, okay? And depending on how much you had to process, at some point or another, you moved over to what I call the other side. And over there on the other side, you were met by the Supreme Being. Some people call that vibration God, Allah. It's all the same vibration, just a different name there. And then you're also met with a team of entities that have been assigned to you from when you were born on a soul level, not on a physical level. And these entities are there to guide you, support you, and they're called your Council of Souls. Once you're met by your Council of Souls, you're greeted by them and by the Supreme Being, you do a life review. And this is where a lot of people who have near-death experiences, my life flashed before my eyes, because they're kind of starting to dip into that process of what happens when a soul makes it over to the other side. And you review your life and you kind of go, here's what I accomplished. Here's what I didn't. Here's what I learned. Here's what I didn't. Here's some karma I accrued. Oops. Here's some karma I cleared. Yay. And through that life review process with your Council of Souls and with the Supreme Being holding you in the light, holding you in consciousness, you come up with your game plan for your next lifetime. In other words, your life purpose, right? That life purpose or your game plan has lots of elements in it. And the beginning elements have to do with, you know, what kind of body do you want to be born into? What color hair, what kind of eyes, what body type, what genetics do you want? What kind of parents, what kind of family do you want? What part of the world do you want to be born into? Socioeconomic status. All the things go into your game plan that you carefully come up with your council of souls so that you can acquire what it is that you want to learn in your next lifetime, or what you want to accomplish, or what karma you want to clear, or what experiences you want to have, so that you can broaden your wisdom base on a soul level to take into future lifetimes. And so all of that is put into what we call like your birth plan on a soul level. And that soul then searches planet Earth for the best match parents, the best fit situation to be born into, so that they can have a pretty good chance at being able to accomplish, or at least having the opportunities to be able to have the experiences so that they can do what they want to do in that lifetime, right? And so that game plan comes with that soul once they're conceived, right? And that information gets passed into, you know, the new baby's body. You on a soul level, you hold that information, and that comes with you right into this lifetime. And that, you know, is the start of this lifetime, where you're like literally the minute you're born, you are on your life purpose. You are taking steps towards your game plan for this lifetime. And and then from there, it's really a matter of letting that unfold, right? And a lot of it has to do with, you know, what do you want to learn? What do you want to acquire? How do you want to develop and enrich yourself? It has a lot less to do with what you're going to do, or, I mean, to some degree what you're going to do, but like what you're going to do for other people, you know, and for the world and for the planet. It really has more to do with your inner journey. Does that kind of set the groundwork?
I'm tracking through all that. I have questions.
Yeah, please. This is okay. What your job is. You're good with the question. You like to poke at me. It's perfect.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we've talked a lot about this at the BPI and in various classes I have done and am in, about this pressure to, like, I'm going to save the world. I'm going to be this do-gooder, and I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. And then the pressure that comes with that, and as well as the judgment of, oh, I'm viewing these people as broken, and I'm the hero, and I need to swoop in and fix them and save them, even if they're not asking. And this stress and strain and burnout that usually comes with that kind of savior complex. Okay, I get that. And when I first came to the BPI, I was told on like my second or third class, I walked in the building, and I think it was Mary said, "Yeah, you're a compulsive healer." And I was like, "Excuse me, spot on. Okay, all right." But I was like, "Well, called out," and so then I went through this process of really healing that part of me that didn't want to heal myself, wanted to heal other people. Then I overcorrected and kind of was like, I'm tired of caring about anybody. Like, everyone take care of yourself. I would have like stepped over an old lady choking on a chicken bone and been like, self-care, this is why it matters right now. Walk out the door and be like, see, she's not taking care of herself. Thinks we're going to save her. Nope. So now I'm like, okay, what about our, obligation, big heavy word, to serving others, to the world. I get it, how you can get this unhealthy attachment to your identity as a hero and a saver and a fixer. And don't we have a purpose to help heal all this? In Judaism, it's tikkun olam. I forgot what the word is in Buddhism, bodhisattva. To like pitch in here, help out, help fix things. And I'm curious what your opinion is on that, or thoughts on that in relation to life purpose of like, are we just here for ourselves, or are we here as part of the community, and how do you balance that?
Well, and I think that's the age-old struggle that everybody has, is how do you balance that? Because absolutely, you come in with your purpose that has more to do with you and your enrichment, but you're also coming into a planet where there are other beings here, and what you do will absolutely ripple effect and affect other people, right? And so what is that ripple effect that you want to create? And if we get kind of down to more of like the mechanical level, right? If I create a ripple that affects people in a way that they're not pleased with, there's going to be karma there, right? So it does ultimately loop back around to me. Do I really want that karma? Because then I'm going to take that karma into my future lifetimes, and that's going to be something that I'm going to have to sort out at some point or another, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, it does oftentimes boil right back down to you and yourself. Like, do you want to create that ripple effect? Because we are bouncing off other people, and there are going to be karmic repercussions, right? And so we are plopped down onto this planet with other human beings. There are karmic implications, and there are some people who are part of their purpose. They're here to provide a certain vibration, or to provide a certain level of awareness to help increase the consciousness of others on the planet too. I think that the big, balancing act has to do with not making your life purpose into this big, overbearing, heavy, unachievable ideal of perfection, and instead recognizing that it's really about, if you can just be more in the beingness of who you are and become more of yourself, and explore life, explore things, explore other people, and enrich yourself, that's going to create this positive effect out in to the rest of the world. And if you end up creating something pretty big that changes people's lives, I think that's great, but carrying it as like this big heavy burden is not helpful to you, and really to anyone else around you, right?
Yeah.
I used to carry a very heavy, I was so programmed with the life purpose. I need to save the world, and just the heartache over, how people are suffering, and I need to fix that and change that. And, really felt the weight of the world literally on my shoulders for most of my 20s. And creating Boulder Psychic Institute and creating the school, it was sluggish and crunchy, and a lot of effort to create it, because I was in a lot of weight and significance about, I've got to teach people how to heal themselves so that they can be better, and everybody can be better.
Doing it wrong.
Yes, and so that the world is not so crappy, And, what I ultimately did was applied the tools that I teach towards myself, and cleared energy and got lighter and lighter, and recognized, the world kind of is a big force. And yeah, I do feel like I can create certain levels of change, and yet it's a big train that's kind of heading in its direction, and there's lots of players, lots of energy. And if I take on that I need to be like Superman and literally like, carry the world and fly it around the sun, or whatever he did in that movie, like that is a lot of pressure on myself. And when I lighten that up and really reset the energy of the school, that, this is really me for my spiritual practice. BPI forces me to show up every day, and as in having meditated, having cleared some energy in as bright of an energy as I possibly can while being human, but it forces me into this practice, and it's actually great for me and my psyche. And the great benefit is that it ripples out, and it supports a lot of other people out there too. And once that shift happened and the school lightened up, that's when it really exploded. That's when it got a lot bigger, because I really do think that people deep down, whether they know it or not, are attracted to the energy of the school, because they're attracted to the energy that I have set it at for myself, which is, this is ultimately for me, for my personal growth and awareness, so that I can become the best person that I could possibly become. And then everybody else who comes to take class or comes to get a healing matches that vibe, and they kind of get reset. Like, yeah, I want to do this ultimately for me, because when I have the energy set at my own personal health and wellness, it has a natural ripple effect in a positive way for those around you. They talk about that with moms, right? Like, the moms who are martyrs really are just teaching their kids how to be a martyr, and how to let people walk all over them in the name of love, right? And they have books on it, like the French moms who, just do their French things, and they, basically those books say that, the French moms make their kids conform to their adult lives, and they're basically just saying that the moms are, doing what makes them happy, and hence they raise fairly well-adjusted children, because they're teaching those kids that, when mom's happy, everybody else is happy. No, they're teaching those kids that, when you're happy and you're taking care of yourself, then you're going to be a lot more fulfilled and have healthier and happier relationships.
I'm laughing, and I'm going to keep this story short because when you said like the BPI is for me, I used to say that all the time to myself when I started, because you, Miwa Mac, will sometimes have outrageous ideas like meditate 30 minutes before class, come to every practica. I'd be like, dude, this is for me. I'm doing the best I can, okay? And then I started doing that stuff later. But and I tell students that are stressed out the same. I'm like, this is for you. Just relax. You're doing good. But
yeah, I mean, and what I love about that is that you had enough maturity coming in, enough kind of information and, your own awareness coming in, going, this is what I need to do to make this practice really work for me, so that I have some sanity with it and some balance with it. And, to be quite honest, you do that with your life in general too. I mean, yeah, sometimes, things go off kilter. December is never a good month. We both know.
December's canceled.
But, right, like, generally you are discerning enough to say, if I'm not feeling happy and healthy and generally feeling good about myself, like, everything falls apart in my life, and there are a lot of people depending on you, as a mom, as a wife, right, as a staff member here.
Yeah. Okay, here's my next question. I mean, because I have a similar story of when I started Be Connected, Colorado, and then that was born out of pain. That was born as a coping mechanism. It was born out of this very, like, it was born out of kind of almost a survival thing of, I want to find community. Where is the other people like me? And that powered it for a long time. And then it started to go, I can't. And then I started to do all my own healing work and realized, can I keep doing this? This is hard. And now I shifted into like, okay, now it's a creative outlet. And that's a totally different vibe versus I'm trying to, create social change.
Right. And you're probably attracting different people to your gatherings.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. And so, okay, my question is, what is an indicator that you're on your life, that you're living your soul's life purpose, that you're in the right direction? That's what's an affinity to you in this light vibration, this vibration that's unique to you. And what's a clue if you're like steering off? So like for me, my clue that I may be starting to get bogged down is if I get frustrated with other people. I'm so judgmental. When I start my first thing is to blame. when I started being like, you guys aren't doing enough out there. You're not stepping up. Like us Capricorns, you better get with it. And I start getting frustrated and feeling alienated. And then I think that's when I'm like, ding, come on now. But that's like, what's a clue if you're on the right path? What does it feel like? What are indicators of like, yeah, I'm living in my vibe. I'm in my life purpose with these mysterious, what are they called? The beings that,
Council of
your counsel. Yeah. What are some clues that you're in the right zone?
Well, I think that the first place that I want to go to in answering that is the trap, which is if I'm having a poopy pants day, or if I'm grumpy, or if my life isn't going the way I think it should, or if I'm struggling, that I am not on my life purpose and bad, I'm doing life all wrong and I need to be sent back to remedial soul school to learn how to do it right. No.
Yeah.
It's kind of like drop the bone, just drop that bone
Mm.
and relax. Just by getting here into a body, like I said, you're already on your life purpose. You're doing it. That game plan you set that game plan, and that's in motion, and you're going to be running into the right people to help you clear the karma, or having the right experiences to help you learn the lessons or to acquire the information. It's all kind of, you laid it out for yourself. And as long as you stay in the body and stay, with yourself, you're going to be on your life purpose, right? I would say that once you can relax and let go of, I'm doing it all wrong because my life sucks, or I'm being a grumpy pants person, if you can let go of that, then the way to know if you're on your purpose or not would be, are you asking that question, am I on my purpose? Right? Because if you're asking that question, to me, you're on your life purpose, right? Just by asking the question puts you in the mindset, in the vibe of, oh, what's my next step here towards acquiring my life purpose, right? Which again, generally speaking, is for you to be more fulfilled, to be more you. It's a being thing than a doing thing, right? So by asking that question, and then the other one that I usually use a gauge for myself is, to what degree have I gotten kind of tied up or entangled with all the like nitpicky physical aspects of life, like all the things, and when I'm more in the awareness of the spiritual world, me as a soul, you as a soul, everything has a soul, and I'm kind of more in that awareness of there's so much more than the physical plane. That is my gauge for the degree to which I'm on my life purpose, because that's me aligning my spirit with my body, which is what I came here to do, right?
So that kind of looks like letting some things go that are like, yeah, maybe my house is a mess and maybe I didn't do that thing I thought I would, and it's okay.
Yeah, when I kind of get stuck in the weeds, that's when, I kind of have to take a pause and go, okay, this isn't necessarily my purpose, again, because it's not so much of a doing thing, it's the being thing, right? And Buddha said, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water, right? You're still kind of doing the same thing,
yeah.
But the energy from which he chopped wood and carried water after enlightenment was very different, right? Yeah. And that's what I'm basically alluding to, which is, I'm still going to be doing all the knick-knacky things, doing life, but it's the energy from which I'm doing it,
right.
Which is more of like a presence or an awareness to the greater energies that surround us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not you're doing your life wrong or if you're struggling, because sometimes the struggle, we call them growth periods here, is part of your path.
Okay. Yeah. Do you, I find the first time I took the life purpose class at the BPI was in the Enlightenment program. Mm-hmm. And then remember if we had one in Avatar, but we've been doing this again in the Transmedium program at a much weirder level. It just keeps getting weirder, you guys. The more
the curriculum does get weirder.
you start going down some strange pathways, but it's cool. What I have been processing since that class is that I am feeling a little bit of a loss of the idea of maybe destiny, or that I have a secret calling to do something great, or like I grew up Christian and I grew up hearing God has a plan for you, which now I'm really curious to actually go back and see, what does the scripture actually say? And so I'm wondering if you can speak to kind of that. It's reassuring to maybe think there is a secret plan and you just have to figure it out. I mean, you're right.
Is that reassuring, or does that kind of make people a little bit crazy?
Yeah, right.
Because I have to figure it out, and there's a secret plan that nobody told me. I'm not in on the plan.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I totally am in clarity of what this council has for, that's like a vague meditation that I did. It was like, I'm not totally seeing these people super clearly.
Well, think of like the Council of Souls and the Supreme Being in between lifetimes. They're really just guides and supporting you and maybe coaching you, asking you the right questions. Well, what is it that you want to do this lifetime? Are you biting off more than you can chew? Should you take on a little bit more maybe, or do you want a slacker lifetime? That's fine too. They're going to kind of ask those questions, but ultimately it really is you who makes the decision around your game plan or your life purpose for your next incarnation, right? The thing is that we oftentimes have spiritual amnesia when we're born, right? Mm-hmm. And, little ones are born into maybe families that aren't acknowledging them on a soul-to-soul level and speaking to them on a soul level and acknowledging their previous lifetime and maybe the energies that they're bringing forth into this lifetime. And that's not like the norm, in case you haven't noticed, in a lot of families. So there is this spiritual amnesia where a person's just like, oh, I'm here, I'm in a body, and so they forget what that purpose is. They forget what that game plan is, right? Mm-hmm. And the easiest way to remember is, oh yeah, I came here to have this body, this body type, to have these parents, to be here in this day and age, to have experiences that this day and age and this family environment and these genetics can offer me, right? If you just start there, then it becomes, well, let me just go through life and, see what I experience, right? And then there's still nothing wrong with having a bigger plan, like I really want to raise awareness of, the BIPOC community. Like, that's a fun goal to have, right? And it probably would fulfill some aspects of your life purpose, but placing an occupation or an end goal onto your life purpose is very limiting, and B, then puts a lot of pressure on a person. Like if all of a sudden tomorrow you're like, my life purpose is to create a huge bi community and raise awareness and to have this big end result of some community thing, right? And that is my purpose. That would probably feel pretty heavy.
Yeah. And I mean, and for people that do, like, okay, right. I always think about Michael Phelps, swimmer, like gets a bazillion gold medals by the time he's like 23. And then like, oh, life is long. Like, now what? You did the thing. You checked the box. And now, like, oh, there's still lots left. Could you, I think if you tie life purpose to outcomes, to accomplishments, A, they're probably never enough. B, you check off one and then take a huge dip of, well, now what?
Yeah, I mean, I would call those goals. Like Michael Phelps had the goal of winning the gold many times, you know,
Right.
but I wouldn't call that his purpose,
Right.
you know, because upon a quick read on his energy, you know, now he's, you know, lived the life of, you know, strenuous training and focus, and, you know, and now he's, you know, heading into the aspects of his life purpose where, okay, now that I've learned how to really focus and train my body and train my mind, you know, how do I have fun? How do I relax a little bit? How do I, you know,
Yeah.
mhm. How do I still feel fulfilled even though I did the thing, you know, because I thought that was my purpose, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of, you know, on a smaller scale, I observe a lot of people who get married with the purpose to have children, you know, and what oftentimes happens is once they have those kids, then they forget what, you know, they're like, oh, well, we kind of did our purpose, right? Or we did the goal, we did the thing, the purpose of the marriage. And the marriages that stay together are the ones who say, okay, well, great, we did that thing, and what's our next goal?
Yeah.
You know, what's the next thing that we're going to be doing to help both of us become better, happier, fulfilled human beings?
Oh, yeah.
And then the marriages that break up are the ones who are like, we did the thing. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's that.
And that's okay too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's a personal question. Are you ready for it?
I'm always ready.
What is your life purpose? Like, could you summarize that in it? Like what it look, you know, vibration. What's your answer to that question? Please speak into the microphone.
Right. My life purpose is to get as lighter and as lighter and as light as possible. Because I, you know, from previous lifetimes have had lifetimes of a lot of kind of fighting for certain causes, fighting for certain things. And so I came in with a pretty big purpose around clearing where injustice or things that shouldn't happen really makes my blood boil, and to learn how to, you know, have more space for people to have a life lesson, even though it might be painful. And in that light, getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter, you know, the tendency is to get kind of heavy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So how much levity can I have in this lifetime?
Word.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah. But it's not like be the director of Boulder Psychic Institute and train psychics and help people heal themselves and, you know, that. You know, this is, you know, this is what's helping me to pass the time in this lifetime.
I think I've told this before, but I know this guy that he has interesting thoughts, and he's a spiritual dude, and he swears that his first memory is being a baby and, like, you know, opening his little baby eyes and just, you know, becoming aware and going, oh, fuck this fucking place again. It just kills me. But
well, I mean, yeah, a lot of the misconceptions around enlightenment is that I'm going to get lighter, physically lighter and lighter and lighter, and transcend planet Earth and just become a spirit body and never have to deal with, you know, the flesh and the body and personalities and people and bleh, you know, and I'm just going to levitate my way into nirvana, yeah. Right? And that's definitely not what Buddha taught, you know. Enlightenment happens in the body, in the lifetime. You know, chop wood, carry water. You bring it into the body, and you do it here, because this is where it's challenging. You know, it's hard to be a spirit in a body. You know, there's things you got to take take care of and things you have to do. And there's so many aspects of taking care of your body and managing your life. And, there's a lot to it. Being a soul who's kind of transcended, that's easy. That's easy stuff.
Right. Oh, hey, we have a question. Ooh. Is there an easy way to find the words to describe your life purpose? Or does it take lots of practice / classes? Can the words to describe your life purpose change? Oh, I like that last twist.
Right? I love that question because for some reason in our language, we say life purpose in the singular, right? And this aspect of beingness, to me, there's an infinite level of exploration to being you, to being more fully yourself, to discovering who you are, where you are and where you're heading. And that's an infinite exploration. So it's not like a target, like in life purpose, you throw the dart and you get to the target, beingness is an infinite exploration. So yes, the words can absolutely change. Because to me, the words are more of an energy that's kind of where you're at in the moment to describe your process, right? Mm-hmm. And words are very two-dimensional, so they don't really, encompass like the whole vibe of everything you might be trying to express, right? But let me see. I don't know if it takes a lot of practice or classes to find the words to describe your life purpose. In my opinion, I think that it just has to do with really lightening up on the, serious expectations around saving the world, and that it's this like pinpointed thing, like you have to do this one thing, like Michael Phelps, win the gold medal, Miwa Mac, run Boulder Psychic Institute, like that's so limiting considering how big purpose, you being fully yourself and exploring your beingness actually is. So don't let the words limit you, and yet, kind of play with those words. Like, one way to think of it is, well, what are some of the kind of frustrations that I came in with as a kid that I'm still kind of working on, that is kind of my Achilles heel. I kind of keep, coming back to this one thing, and for me, it's that levity, right? It's really easy to get serious.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. It's hard being, it's hard. It's hard being on Earth. It's hard being right. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Having a body is difficult, Mm-hmm. And then the added pressure of life purpose, and you have to save the world. I mean, let's just make it even harder, And a lot of healers come in with that level of social conditioning and programming that they need to save the world, right? And so I can't tell you how many new students we get who come in to take classes. And even though I say, hey, don't give healings or readings to other people outside of class or BPI sanctioned events, let us hold you in this safe, comfortable vibration and make it a safe place for you to learn and to grow and to make mistakes. And, I would probably say, about 60% of my students right now have not, been ordained or completed enough trainings to, have that level of being able to go out and do this work without getting clobbered. And they're doing it because they have that conditioning that says, well, I need to heal the planet. I need to save the world, right? Before they've really got a handle on healing themselves.
Yeah. I mean,
that's okay.
Yeah. As a compulsive healer in recovery, my poison is young, cute queers in distress. I still am like, oh, I want to get in there and like fix it.
It's so tempting. Right. And I love what you said too, is that you started down this path and you were kind of swinging towards one side of the pendulum of like compulsive healer, healing a lot. You can't really help yourself. And those are the new students that I describe, they just can't really help themselves. And that has to do a lot with this social conditioning around like, you got to save the world. I mean, if you're going to take up space here on the planet, you better have a reason. You know, you can't just be here to be here. So, you know, you've got to have a purpose that's bigger than you, right? And so a lot of students do then clear some energy, and they do swing to the other end where it's like, yeah, no, take care of yourself. I'm not helping anyone. I'm not doing any of it, you know. And then part of the journey is then kind of swinging back and just finding that nice little sweet spot where it's like, yeah, I'm taking care of myself. And if I'm crossing the street and I see an old lady, you know, I've got the energy and the time right now. I will help her up.
Maybe I'll turn her on her side.
Help her across the road, or, you know, like, oh, I've got some time and energy, you know. Like, there's times where I, you know, will be on Pro Street, and, you know, there's a person who clearly is in need of some funds or some money, and besides giving them a little energy healing, you know, hey, go get a hot meal, you know, here's $20, you know. But I have the, you know, a capability to do that now. Maybe 20 years ago, it's just a healing, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, after I got ordained, it took me a long time in meditation to come to, why am I doing this now? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because and I finally, because I kind of thought, I don't think I want to help people. I mean, of course I would like that outcome. That'd be nice, you know, but that's too heavy. It's too stressful. And any time I'm in a situation with anyone, whether it's a student or a friend or anybody that is like, oh man, this is hard, they're really struggling, and I catch myself like, okay, I gotta say the perfect thing, I do the perfect thing. If I switch to a playful mindset, not like, oh, it's just a joke, but just a light, like, hey, it's recess. It's that, like, you know, when you're immersed in play and just this isn't so serious. And I switched to, I like to be a storyteller, and I want to hold space for someone where I'm observing their story and learning from it, and holding space where they craft where they're at in their story. Then all of a sudden I go, oh, okay, take it easy. And then we start making progress in the conversation, which is very interesting because it feels uncomfortable to think, I don't want to help them. There's too much heaviness in that. There's too much judgment in that. There's too much saviorness in that. And that, for me, that just, you know, I slide back into compulsive healer mode.
Well, you're speaking to the distinction between fixing and healing.
Right.
Right. And when you're fixing somebody, you are maybe at the same vibration that that person's in who you're trying to fix. And you're not only seeing them as a problem, but, you know, in seeing them as a problem, there's probably something unresolved or unhealed within you. And so you go about helping them, and that's actually a fix it vibration, which usually is pretty ucky. And so I can, again, not like, I don't want to go there because I don't have enough of a high vibe myself to be able to, you know, actually shift this situation. It's just going to spiral, right? Have you ever like tried to help somebody and just kind of spirals, right? I watch this with the students in certain readings. I'm like, oh, you know, it's spiraling. Yeah, and this is a big thing that we teach here at BPI is, you know, before you read or heal anyone, check yourself, make sure that, you know, you're in a good place, you've cleared your judgments towards that person, you're not seeing them as broken. Maybe give yourself a little mini healing. And that's what you're saying. When I lighten it up, when I kind of remember that I'm a storyteller, I remember who I am, I'm in my truth. You know, you're shining pretty bright now. You don't even have to do anything to that person that you're wanting to heal. Just by being present and being yourself and being your brightness, they'll match and they'll lighten up and they'll get a natural healing just out of you, you know, finding your humor, right? Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's what healing is, oh, I'm setting the vibe, come match me, you know. And oftentimes I tell my students, just by doing that, a person's going to get a tremendous healing. right? And then it's an added bonus if you kind of, fix a chakra or heal, an aura, or,
Yeah.
you kind of do a few things, right? As long as you're doing it from that healing vibration of, I'm maintaining my own glow,
Yeah.
and I'm encouraging you to be in your brightness, your greatness also, right?
Okay. Yeah, I think right, this way of looking at life purpose also blows the lid off of, or just the idea of destiny, which that word is so like, yes, destiny, like I want to have my like staff and my cape and with the wind,
Yeah,
but
Hollywood makes a lot of money off of that concept, destiny, and the hero's journey, and there's this destiny that somebody's put forth and they have to go do that even if they're going to die in the process, right?
right.
Mm-hmm. And at least the way I have the vibration set at the school, we don't subscribe to destiny or that your future is written by something outside of yourself. We really come from the stance that you are the creator of your life, and you create it, you set the energy, and sometimes we have blips of unconsciousness and we create something that doesn't always feel that great, or sometimes it's great moments of consciousness and we create something that's not that great so that we can learn and heal and grow from it. But this is your path, your life. Nobody chose your destiny or your future or your life purpose. You chose it, right? And I did see a question kind of far back earlier. Somebody said, do you have to know your life purpose in the form of words? And I say absolutely not. You don't have to cognitively, intellectually be able to speak to your life purpose to prove to somebody else that you know your life purpose, right? It's okay if it's just a vibe, right? So when that soul, with their game plan for their next lifetime, when they conceive and sperm and egg meet, not only does that soul take a packet of energy of their life purpose or their game plan for this lifetime and put that into the first embryo that's formed, right? That packet of information around the life purpose sits in the eighth chakra, which is about 3 or 4 feet above your head. It's a little ring of energy, and that information sits there. And it's super ethereal, right? But it's okay to kind of have a meditation and go, what color or what kind of vibe or feel? You could even kind of feel up there is my eighth chakra, and then just decide that you're gonna like imbibe that, or just bring that vibration down. It's like, oh, I'm in the vibe of that eighth chakra energy, which holds my life purpose. Oh, I'm in the vibe of it, and it's super ethereal. But if you surround yourself with the vibe of whatever that energy is of your life purpose, whether you cognitively know it or not, the magic will start to set in, and you'll start to just automatically make different choices or run into different people, and things will kind of play out in a way that's going to make you feel more on purpose, even if your life's not always perfect, right?
I like that. I'm on purpose. Just my existence.
I'm on purpose. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm in the vibe, right? For me, it's this levity vibe, like, I'm on purpose. Not so much right now. Oh, I'm back. Oh, And it's like a bicycle. You're always kind of wobbling with it. There is no perfection around it, right?
Yeah, it's reassuring to know that, like, if you're off course, yeah, that's part of the human experience.
Yeah, the thing is that I don't see that people get off course for too long.
Or the off
right?
course is a learning experience where you were like, yeah, I need to learn this. So I did manifest this wreck on my bike so that I could.
Yeah, but that's not off course. That's you on course, even though it feels crappy, right?
Okay.
And I think that's the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway from today is, besides life purpose is not like this little thing that you acquire. It's an infinite beingness, right?
Okay.
And it's an exploration of you and acquiring more of your wisdom. being on your life purpose doesn't mean your life's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Or go perfectly smooth in the way that you think it should, you know. You're going to have these ups and downs and bumps in the roads. And what if that is your purpose, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the last is, stop thinking about it so much, you know. I think it's super important to just not overthink it and just be in the vibe, you know.
Yeah. I know. I tried to do that meditation. I did it a couple years ago and had this clarity, and then recently was like, I better redo it. I better go back and make sure I did it right, or see if it's updated. And it was just clunky and hard. And I thought, why? Might as well stick to what I came up with a while ago. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So.
Yeah, well, and what you're saying happened is that you did the class on life purpose that we offer in the Enlightenment program, and then some energy snuck in from the surrounding world around you and put you into a bit of doubt, right? And the doubt, is the conditioning or programming that you're not doing enough. You're such a slacker.
Yeah.
You need to be doing more. What are you doing with your life?
Not enough.
How are you changing things, right? Yeah. And there's probably some people in, the familial circle that kind of do that a little bit. And, that snuck in. And then you went into doubt and you're like, oh, I guess I better figure out my life purpose, right?
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Like when people ask me, what do you do for work? Oh, here we go. I vibe high. Okay. Then they think I'm talking about something else, but okay, we did it. We did awesome.
Yeah. Does anybody, we have a few minutes. Does anybody have a question? You want to pop in the chat? Well, Three and I actually are going to stop talking and read them.
I know you last time we got cut off. We couldn't figure it out.
I know, right?
Oh, well. This is a good one. This is a good topic. I like it.
Right. This one time I was at I don't know if I've told this story before, but I was at a Thanksgiving dinner, and my mom's friend was really just pushing on me, like, what's your purpose? Why are you here? What's your goal in life? What are you going to do? My son is at Johns Hopkins and he's going to become a doctor and he's going to save lives. What are you doing? And I was like in my mid-20s, just getting started with Boulder Psychic Institute and building the school. And I just looked at her and I was like, oh, well, my big goal in this lifetime is to clear so much energy that my light body is so solid that I could, when my physical body dies, I can resurrect like Jesus did.
I love this. Okay.
And she was like, and everybody at the table just went silent, and they all just kind of blipped out for a few moments. I was like, well, if you're going to have a goal, go big.
I have a couple jokes.
And then completely changed the topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody asked me ever again what my purpose is or my life goal.
I have a couple jokes in my pocket if somebody's like, oh, if you're so psychic, what am I thinking? Or bleh. And then I just will look them dead in the eyes and be like, you really want me to tell that story right now in front of everybody? Like I know some deep dark secret about them, and they're just like, I'm like, oh, I guess you do believe. But yeah. Okay.
That's funny. Mine is usually like, oh, it's too dirty. I can't say it out loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm going to vibe in my life purpose today and see what happens.
Yeah. Just 8th chakra. You can feel it. Then just feel it. This is me getting really ethereal here. And then, but it's not as concrete as I think people make it out to be. And if you just let go of overthinking it, it can be actually a pleasurable, fun experience to be vibing your purpose. So,
yeah.
Thank you, Three.
Thank you. Should we say goodbye?
We're actually going to say goodbye and not get cut off.
I know we're not like trying to talk, so we're like, wait, no, okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for questions. We'll do it again next month.
Yes, next month is going to be love.
Ooh.
What's love got to do with it?
God, I saw Tina Turner concert. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Hello, goodbye. I love you.